The Forgotten Realms is packed with gods of light, love, war, and wisdom. But forget the sunshine and harp music. This video is for the wicked, the corrupt, and the gloriously evil. These aren't your run-of-the-mill villains. These are gods who shape worlds with a whisper, enslave mortals with a smile, and extinguish suns for the hell of it. Their influence corrupts kingdoms, twists the hearts of heroes, and lingers in every cursed artifact adventurers dig up. This is the major evil deities of the Forgotten Realms, explained. Buckle in, lock the doors, maybe leave a light on. First, Bane, the Black Lord. Bane, the god of tyranny, is what happens when ambition lifts weights and skips leg day for 10,000 years. He lives to dominate, crush opposition, and rule with an iron gauntlet. Originally part of the infamous Dead Three, Bane sought godhood through conquest and fear. His portfolio includes hatred, war, and control. He orchestrated vast campaigns of domination, including manipulating the Gentarum into becoming a near-unstoppable militant cult in his name. Bane clashed with other gods, notably trying to undermine Torm and Tyr, and was instrumental in sowing chaos during the Time of Troubles. After dying during that cataclysmic event, he returned via a possessed child, because even death knew better than to keep him away, and came back stronger than ever. His cults are militarized, disciplined, and obsessed with hierarchy. They function like fanatical military orders, complete with rigorous training, internal ranks, and unwavering loyalty to Bane's doctrine. In cities, they infiltrate political structures and manipulate civil unrest to usher in authoritarian regimes under their control. In the wilds, they raise dark armies and establish fortresses devoted to conquest. Bane's faithful believe only one truth: might makes right, and the weak must kneel or be destroyed. Temples double as barracks, courts, and execution halls. Even among his clergy, internal conflict is encouraged, so long as it strengthens the hierarchy. His symbol? A black handprint, subtle as a brick through a window, and just as painful. Second, Talos, the Storm Lord. Talos is the god of storms, destruction, and raw, unchecked chaos. Where others whisper lies or weave shadows, Talos screams his fury in thunderclaps and hurls his wrath in lightning strikes. Known as the Destroyer, he delights in natural disasters: tornadoes, tsunamis, earthquakes, and firestorms. He's not subtle. His wrath is a spectacle. One of his most infamous acts was the annihilation of the coastal city of Verdun during the Stormstar Requiem, where Talos unleashed a storm so vast and violent it wiped the city from maps and memory in a single night. His worshippers include berserkers, pirate lords, and nihilistic druids who believe destruction is the purest form of divine expression. Among them, the most prolific sect is the Raging Eye, a nomadic cult known for orchestrating devastating raids along coastlines and provoking natural disasters through arcane rituals. These fanatics see themselves as divine instruments of the Storm Lord's fury, often tattooed with lightning scars and chanting battle hymns in the midst of chaos. His clergy roam like mad prophets, calling for apocalypse and preaching the glory of chaos. Wherever there's catastrophe, Talos is laughing in the wind. To follow Talos is to revel in destruction, to believe that everything, no matter how mighty, must someday fall. Third, Mirkul, Lord of Bones. The third of the Dead Three, Mirkul is the god of death and decay. He's the stillness of a crypt, the chill of a grave, and the dry whisper of bones. Even after being destroyed in the Time of Troubles, Mirkul found ways to linger, resurrecting through avatars, cursed relics, and undead servitors. One of his most used avatars was the Bone Lord, a towering skeletal figure wreathed in shadow and draped in tattered robes. This avatar would often appear in necromantic rituals, granting grim blessings to those who dared invoke Mirkul's name. He's become a whispering vestige behind necromantic power, and every lich owes him a nod. His presence is found in forgotten tombs, cursed graveyards, and among those who seek immortality through undeath. His clerics preach that death is inevitable, and that embracing it grants true power. Mirkul is the eternity that follows, and he is always, always waiting. 4th Char, Mistress of the Night. Char is the cosmic embodiment of darkness, loss, and nihilism. Sister to Selûne, she represents everything hidden, buried, or forgotten. She isn't just darkness, she's the despair that darkness hides. She created the Shadow Weave, a twisted, secret alternative to Mystra's weave of magic, born from her hatred and jealousy of her sister Selûne. After the two goddesses clashed in the earliest days of creation, Char took the fragments of their conflict and spun them into a dark mirror of arcane power. The Shadow Weave is not merely a rival to Mystra's creation. It is a rejection of light, order, and balance. Its power is seductive, forbidden, and always corrupting. Mages who tap into it often lose more than their morals. They lose themselves, becoming tools of Char's will or vessels for her creeping void. Her cults operate in secret, sowing chaos in temples, courts, and arcane circles. Her followers are often cloaked scholars, disillusioned nobles, or mages seduced by forbidden power. The most notorious among them is the Order of the Dark Moon, a fanatical sect that worships Char's philosophy of annihilation and control. They spread despair, erase memories, and seek to unmake the world, not with fire, but with silence. Entire communities have fallen under their influence without even realizing it, their history rewritten, and their will eroded by darkness. If hopelessness had a patron, it would be her. And she would smile as the last light in the world fades. 5th Lolth, Queen of Spiders. Lolth is the spider goddess of the drow, ruling from the abyss with chaos and cruelty. A fallen deity of the Seldarine, she embodies betrayal, ambition, and matriarchal tyranny. She teaches that the strong survive by preying on the weak, and her faith defines drow society. Backstabbing your peers isn't just allowed, it's sacred. Advancement through violence is tradition. Lolth's clergy, known as the Yathrin, are exclusively female, viciously competitive, and as likely to duel as they are to debate. Each priestess is trained in both arcane and martial arts, and often commands legions of subordinates through fear and dominance. Ambition is a divine virtue, and internal betrayals are seen not as sins, but as sacred rites of ascension. The Yathrin dominate drow society, serving as spiritual leaders, judges, and enforcers of Lolth's brutal doctrine. Her temples double as torture chambers and political arenas, where faith is measured in cruelty, cunning, and survival. Every priestess dreams of replacing the one above her, preferably with poison, and always with flair. Cross her, and you might become a Drider, or worse, forgotten. Just another tangled husk in her divine web. 6th Cirk, Prince of Lies. Cirk is the mad god of lies, murder, and strife. Born mortal, he betrayed allies and seized godhood during the time of troubles. He's a poster child for what happens when you give a narcissist divine power. He murdered Mystra, one of them, triggering a massive upheaval in the fabric of magic across the realms, known as the Spell Plague. Drunk on his newfound power, he attempted to rewrite all of reality in a new scripture he penned himself, a tome of delusions and contradictions. His madness deepened until even the other gods could no longer ignore him, and he was ultimately imprisoned in the supreme throne, a plane of illusion crafted from his own fractured mind. Yet despite all this, he still commands a devoted following of zealots, lunatics, and power-hungry opportunists who believe chaos is the only true divine order. His clerics, known collectively as the Church of the Dark Sun, are masters of manipulation, chaos cultists, and deluded prophets who thrive on confusion and unrest. They operate independently, often unaware of each other, spreading Cirk's influence through whispered secrets, inciting uprisings, or subtly twisting governments and faiths into knots of paranoia. Their primary goal is to destabilize order and install Cirk's brand of divine madness as gospel. His holy texts contradict themselves deliberately, serving as tools for indoctrination and mental unraveling. To followers, that's the point. Truth is a lie, and lies shape truth. Imagine a power-hungry conspiracy theorist with divine status, then crank the paranoia to 11. 7. Asmodeus, Lord of the Nine Hells. The literal devil, Asmodeus began as the top dog in hell, but climbed his way into the pantheon through legal trickery, infernal contracts, and the oldest game of fine print wins. He represents tyranny by law, domination through deals, and power bought in blood. His cults are organized, corporate, and terrifyingly efficient. These infernal syndicates specialize in manipulating mortal contracts, establishing powerful merchant guilds, and embedding themselves in legal and political systems. Members may pose as lawyers, bankers, or advisors, always offering irresistible deals with devastating consequences buried in the fine print. They broker souls like currency, orchestrate takeovers of faiths and cities, and establish diabolical temples disguised as bureaucratic institutions. Think infernal HR departments with binding clauses written in souls, and promotions that end in eternal servitude. His rise to true godhood was a masterclass in manipulation. Asmodeus orchestrated cosmic betrayals, rewrote ancient laws, and tricked both mortals and gods into giving him the power he needed. By subtly altering the pact, primeval, the foundational agreement governing the Nine Hells, he positioned himself as its ultimate arbiter and protector. When other deities turned to him to enforce infernal law, he used that trust to ascend. He didn't seize power through brute force. He made the universe need him. His followers believe the only true freedom is the one you sign away willingly, because control is most effective when the captive thinks they're in charge. His plan? Control all of reality through bureaucracy. And it's working. Slowly, quietly, inevitably. So what ties these gods together? Power, yes. Fear, absolutely. But more than anything, they reflect the worst parts of ourselves, magnified to divine levels. They are the cautionary tales our characters ignore, the final bosses that look back when you stare too long into the abyss. In the Forgotten Realms, gods aren't just watching. They're recruiting. They're reshaping the world in their image. And sometimes, their most powerful tools are the people who think they can resist. Until next time, keep your pacts clean, your soul unbound, and your dagger handy. Trust me, you'll need it. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the lore, be sure to smash that like button like a barbarian on a rampage. And if you want to keep uncovering the mysteries of the realms, don't forget to roll for subscription and hit the bell so you never miss a quest. Until next time, may your rolls be high and your loot be legendary.